Hello, and welcome to another Living Life Ministry video. Today we're going to be talking about saving money for the holidays. Now, the holidays can be very stressful because there's a lot of things we have to dole out money for. There's gifts, probably one of the biggest things, and another big thing is the dinner. So we're going to talk about a few ideas that you can use to help save money in the holidays and hopefully help reduce your stress so you can celebrate the holidays and get that renewal of life that the holiday season brings. So, first let's talk about the big ones, the gifts. Gifts can cost a lot of money and they add up quickly. Even if you're looking for cheaper gifts, if you have a lot of people to buy for, it can really add up quickly. And the next thing you know, you're maxing out your credit cards or using up all your money. And a lot of situations, the rates of depression and even suicide go up during the holiday season because people can't keep up with these things. People struggle with, their family and friends on a regular basis for their lives. There's a lot of stress when you live and you're close with people, and when you're dealing with family, and then you add this burden of gifts and expectations. And a lot of people become depressed over the holiday season. So saving money is a great way to kind of help relieve some of that stress. And here's a few ideas we're going to kind of go over. So a first idea that I'm going to share with you comes from something that my family does for birthdays. When it comes to birthdays, what we like to do is we like to do themed birthday parties. So whoever's birthday it is, they get to pick a theme. So for my last birthday, I picked dragons. I thought that'd be kind of fun. And so the gifts that I got were kind of, based off the idea of dragons. And we've done tons of different ideas. We've done fairy tales. We've done, items such as, emergency safety gear and things that, you wouldn't really even think of. And it's a lot of fun. And the reason I'm saying, try themed gifts for Christmas, if everybody in your family picks a theme for themselves, when you do theme shopping, you tend to find little things that tend to be really cheap. One year I did Superman as my theme, and I got a lot of little cheap gifts, as well as some nicer things, but a lot of little cheap gifts that kind of add on to the theme, make the day really special because you get all this kind of stuff that encompasses one theme, and, you have the big things like, whether it be like an electronic game or sort of book or whatever the case may be, will be your big item. But all the little things are kind of really, really special because they all tie in together. They all mean something, and it shows that those people that you're celebrating with took the time and effort to go out and find these things. It can be a lot of fun. You get a lot of neat stuff. You get stuff you wouldn't imagine would be related to those themes. And it's a great way to save money because when you're looking for those little stuff, you get that enjoyment of the shopping season, that hunt, but at the same time, you're saving money because you're looking for something specific. And if everybody does this, it's a good way to save money, and it's really, really, really fun. Another idea is something else my family does, is do some charitable works together as a family for the holidays. Now, my father, for the last few years, has been doing backpacks for the homeless. And what he does is he, tries to get the local churches and people to donate things like scarves, money, food cards for grocery stores, underwear, razors, like for shaving, and like shaving cream and soap and all these things, and puts a big bundle into a backpack and usually some cash as well, and goes out Christmas Eve or Christmas Day and hands these backpacks to the homeless people in our local city. And it's kind of a good thing for the family to do. So we say, okay, well, we're going to, if we have a budget this year for this much for gifts, why don't we cut that in half, give half of it to the charity, and we'll spend less on our gifts for each other. So rallying around some sort of charitable work or some common goal for the holiday kind of takes away the focus of the gifts, makes it seem less important, and that way, you still appreciate that exchange gifts, but you've kind of oriented yourself into a more positive and more important goal. And oddly enough, it helps you save money because the money you're giving out to the charity is nowhere near as much as if you kind of let yourself get consumed by the consumeristic mentality and you bought hundreds of gifts for everybody. In this case, a lot of times everybody just gets one gift. It's just something small to remember the occasion for, and the rest of our time and effort goes into these backpacks. So it's a really good thing to do to your family. It's a great thing, start small with your children. Children, there's a lot of pressure to get the gifts from school. A lot of times kids will compare what they got, and a lot of times if you didn't get as much as your friends, you feel like, if you're following the story of Santa Claus, feel like, maybe you weren't as good, and especially if you're a really good kid and your family can't afford as much, it can be kind of hard, and you start questioning some things. So start small with the kids. Don't, give all your money. Try to give them a good Christmas. But it's a good something to start with them young, and you can build on it each year and slowly subtract, what you're giving to them and start giving it to more charities, and you'll actually start saving money. It's really, really good work. And plus, you're doing something good for, homeless people or the food shelter or the animal shelter. You're doing something good for a very positive and wonderful cause, and it really, really makes you feel that Christmas spirit. You really feel that wonderful nature, and that positive attitude kind of grow inside yourself and in your family and your community and the people you're helping with it. It's a beautiful exchange of love, faith, and hope. And so I really encourage you to try that one. Another great one, and this is good for adults. If you have children in the family, it's good to kind of let them get involved in that whole Christmas season and get the anticipation for the presents. But when we're adults, we don't need toys. We don't have a lot of desires. A lot of stuff that we have or need, we already own. So a good way to kind of save money is do a Secret Santa. So we tend to do this sometimes in our family too, and we'll draw names, and everybody draws a name of someone in the family, and that person gets a gift for that person. And we do a Secret Santa style. And there's different ways. You can look it up on the line. Sometimes everybody just gets a random gift, and you put them all in a big pile, and then you do a random selection. Others, like I said, you can draw a name, and it can be, one person's buying it for someone else. There's a lot of different ways, but this way you only get one gift per person, one person out of your family, and it's a good way to save money. And on top of that, you can also you can just do this, or you can try it with the Secret Santa. It's a money limit. A lot of families will say, we're going to have a cap of, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 based on their budgets. So if everybody, and it also kind of takes away the competition of gifts when you do that. A lot of times, you'll have a brother or sister, and, they come to the big family gathering, and they bring a load of gifts for everybody, and you can't afford as much as them, and you just bring something little and you feel bad about yourself. A good way to avoid those kind of stresses is to say, okay, everybody in the family, don't spend more than $20 on your gifts. And when you give a money limit, everybody's kind of getting the same caliber of gift and the same value of gift, and it makes a lot of fun, especially when you're going out hunting. You got to find something in your range, and it puts a little bit of a challenge to it. So combining that with the Secret Santa, or just doing that in general, if you're going to get gifts for everybody, saying, okay, let's all have a cap of $15, $20 that we're going to do for the gifts. And it's a good way to save money. And the final thing I'm going to say, and it's something I'm trying this year, is baked goods. When I think of the holidays, a lot of time you think of things like gingerbread cookies and chocolate chip cookies and pies and stuff like that. And, food is one of those gathering forces in human nature. We gather to eat. It's how we, it's one of those returning factors where we always come back, to gather as a family or as a community to eat and celebrate over food. And I thought this year, instead of getting gifts, for, a lot of times when you get a gift, people just kind of use it once and it sits on a shelf and gets put away. I thought, I'm going to go out and put that money I was going to put towards getting gifts and get into baked goods. And at the same time, I'm kind of saving money because you can make a lot of baked goods for very cheap. You can make, 50, 60 muffins and a couple hundred cookies and all that stuff for very cheap. And it's a lot of fun. You get to spend a day in the kitchen, you put on Christmas music, and you get, when you give a gift of food, you can share it. You get to enjoy the gift, they get to enjoy a gift, and it really adds to the holiday. I don't recommend having your entire family do this. If everybody's doing baked goods, that's going to be a lot of pounds and calories you're going to be adding onto your waistline, and the holidays are hard enough, dealing with your health issues when you're eating all that good holiday food. But for yourself, that might be something you want to try on occasion to help save some money. And it's a great thing to combine in with your charity works. If you're going to do something like we do, you want to put together baskets for the homeless, or you want to do baked goods for your church or local community. When you're baking at home for your friends and family, you can also bake at the same time for your charity or your community. And it's a great way to kind of combine the holidays and gift givings into one kind of moment. And it's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. But speaking of food, let's talk about the dinner, because the dinner can be very, very expensive. When we're kids, we don't really realize how much money gets spent into buying all these foods that we don't really eat through the year, and all of a sudden serving it all at once. And it can be very expensive for parents or people who are hosting a large family events, especially if you have a large family. So a good way to kind of combat that is to introduce a potluck style of Christmas dinner. Now, if you in the summertime when we go to barbecues, potluck is very common. You know, everybody brings a dish and we all share. It's very communion. It's a very biblical kind of message where everybody, you know, brings in and the community shares. And it's something you should try with your Christmas dinner. If you have a large family or you have a large group of friends or something like that, try the potluck. You make one dish and that's all you have to spend, and everybody brings a dish, and it drops down the cost, and it's very wonderful because a lot of the times, you know, people will make unique things. You know, in our family, we always try to, shake up Christmas dinner a little bit. We've had things from Italian cooking to, Eastern European cooking, and my mom really gets into it because she really loves to experiment with different types of cooking, and so do I. So it's a great way to kind of intermingle different foods together and keep the traditional foods all together as well. It's a wonderful practice, and it will help you save some money. But if you don't have a large family, that's not really going to work, because if it's just you and your kids, or you and your spouse, you're not really going to have a potluck situation available to you. So I recommend going on the internet. There's a lot of interesting recipes and ways to save money. Now, if there's two people, you might not think about this, but if you're going to go out and buy a turkey, maybe go out and buy half a turkey or buy a chicken instead of buying the big turkey. There's lots of different ways that we might not all automatically think of to save money for the holiday. So I suggest going online and checking out what other people have done to help save money, especially if you're in a smaller situation for dinner. And finally, a great piece of advice that I kind of learned early for the gift giving and the dinner is buy your stuff well in advance. Well, as soon as the holiday season gets here and demand goes up, so do the prices. Everything goes up. So if there's stuff you can buy in advance, do it. Now, we're already in the second week of Advent, so it might be too late for you to go out and buy things really early before the prices go up. But buy your stuff as early as you can. Look for your gifts and look for your food items that can be stored for long periods of time well in advance. It'll be cheaper, it'll help save you money, and it's less stress because, as soon as the holiday season gets here, there's all these burdens, there's all these worries. And if you have a bunch of stuff or you're pre-planned and pre-bought before that, all of a sudden you don't have all that money building up at once. You're not spending everything at once. And it's already there. You don't have to worry about it. So those are just some ideas for the dinner and the gifts that you can take into consideration to help your Christmas holiday be more wonderful than it can be. And just remember to keep the spirit of Christmas in your heart. Think about charities and who you are as a person this holiday season, and try not to worry about the finances and everything. Just pre-plan, think strategically, and enjoy yourself. The holiday season is a wonderful thing, and I hope you can embrace it with all your heart, all your spirit, and all your mind, and really celebrate the coming of Christ for his birthday. And there's a great idea. A lot of people do a bunch of pies for the holidays, but some people, and I kind of find this funny, will use birthday cakes for their dessert for Christmas to celebrate the birthday of Jesus. And cake can be made pretty cheaply. You can get cupcakes, and it's a fun way to celebrate Christmas. So keep that in mind as well. Anyway, take care. God bless. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And we'll see you next time.